I can't believe I'm standing here watching the man I loved more than anything marry my best friend. My heart is shattering into a million pieces, and I'm struggling to hold back the tears that threaten to spill down my cheeks. Just a year ago, we were planning our own wedding, picking out flowers and tasting cakes. I thought I had found my forever, the person I would grow old with. How could he do this to me? How could Sophia, the one person I trusted more than anyone, betray me like this? Lily, are you okay? I hear a voice beside me. It's my mother, her brow furrowed with concern. I force a smile, though it feels more like a grimace. I'm fine, Mom. Just taking it all in, you know? She places a gentle hand on my arm. I know this must be so hard for you, sweetheart. But you're being so strong. I nod, not trusting my voice to speak. The ceremony is in full swing now, and I can't tear my eyes away from the couple exchanging vows. Sophia looks radiant in her white dress, her eyes shining with happiness. And he looks at her with the same adoration he once reserved for me. I can't believe this is happening, I whisper, more to myself than to my mother. I know, honey. I know. She gives my arm a reassuring squeeze. The officiant's voice booms through the church. You may now kiss the bride. As their lips meet, I feel a sharp pain in my chest, like someone has just ripped my heart out. I can't breathe, can't think. All I can do is stare, numb to everything around me. The applause and cheers of the guests feel like a dagger to my soul. How can they be so happy when my world is crumbling? I need to get out of here. I can't stay and watch this any longer. Turning to my mother, I say, I'm sorry, but I have to go. Lily, wait, she calls after me. But I'm already making my way towards the exit, pushing through the crowd of well-wishers. Once I'm outside, the cool air hits my face, and I finally let the tears flow freely. I collapse onto a nearby bench, burying my face in my hands as the sobs rack my body. How could he do this to me? After everything we've been through, after all the plans we made, he just threw it all away, and with my best friend of all people. The betrayal cuts deeper than I ever thought possible. I don't know how long I sit there, crying my heart out. Time seems to stand still, and the world around me fades away. All I can focus on is the pain, the utter devastation of losing everything I thought I had. Eventually, the sound of footsteps approaches, and I look up to see my mother standing before me, her eyes filled with sympathy. Oh, Lily, she says, sitting down beside me and pulling me into a tight embrace. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. As I bury my face in her shoulder, I know that nothing will ever be the same again. My life has been shattered, and I have no idea how I'm going to pick up the pieces. The days following the wedding have been a blur of pain and anguish. I can't seem to escape the memories that haunt me, the images of Sophia and my ex-fiancé exchanging vows, their lips meeting in a kiss that should have been ours. I've shut myself off from the world, ignoring calls and messages from friends and family. How can I face them, knowing the humiliation and heartbreak I've endured? They'll only look at me with pity, and I can't bear that. Instead, I spend my days holed up in my apartment, staring at the walls and reliving every moment of our relationship. The laughter, the love, the plans we made for the future, all of it now tainted by the betrayal. A knock on the door startles me, and I hesitate before answering, not wanting to see anyone. Lily, it's me, your mother. Please open the door. I sigh, knowing I can't avoid her forever. Slowly, I pull the door open, and she steps inside, her eyes filled with concern. Oh, my dear, she says, pulling me into a tight embrace. I've been so worried about you. I melt into her arms, the tears I've been holding back finally spilling down my cheeks. I don't know what to do, Mom, I sob. Everything is falling apart, and I feel so lost. She guides me to the couch, sitting down beside me and taking my hands in hers. I know, sweetheart. This is a terrible thing to go through, but you're not alone. I'm here for you, and so are your friends. I shake my head. I can't face them, not after what happened. They'll just feel sorry for me, and I can't stand that. Lily, hiding away won't make this any easier. You need to let people in, to lean on them during this time. I just want to be left alone, I whisper, my voice barely audible. My mother sighs, squeezing my hands gently. I understand, but please don't shut us out. We love you, and we want to help you through this. I don't respond, the weight of my grief too heavy to bear. We sit in silence for a moment, the only sound the occasional sniffle from me. Finally, my mother speaks up again. Have you thought about what you're going to do? I shake my head. I don't know. I can't even imagine moving on from them. You will in time. But for now, focus on taking care of yourself. Lean on your support system and don't be afraid to ask for help. I nod, knowing she's right, even if the idea of reaching out feels impossible right now. As my mother wraps me in another hug, I feel a glimmer of hope. Maybe with time and the support of my loved ones, I can find a way to pick up the pieces of my shattered life. I'm sitting in my favorite cafe, sipping on a lukewarm coffee when I see a familiar face walk through the door. My heart stops as Sophia, my former best friend, scans the room and locks eyes with me. For a moment, we just stare at each other, the air thick with tension. Then she hesitantly makes her way over to my table. "Lily," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't expect to see you here," I scoff, the bitterness in my voice palpable. "What, did you think I'd just disappear after what you did?" Sophia winces, her gaze dropping to the floor. "I know you must be angry with me, and you have every right to be. I wanted to apologize." "Apologize?" I laugh, the sound hollow and devoid of any humor. "You think a simple apology is going to fix this?" She looks up at me, her eyes pleading. "I know it's not enough, but I'm truly sorry, Lily. I never meant to hurt you like this." "Never meant to hurt me?" I spit the words out, my hands trembling with rage. Tears well up in her eyes, but I feel no sympathy. "I know, and I'm so sorry. I never meant for it to happen, it just what?" I interrupt, my voice rising. "You just fell into bed with him? Accidentally betrayed the person you claimed to care about most?" Sophia opens her mouth to respond, but I cut her off again. "Save it. I don't want to hear your excuses. You made your choice, and now you have to live with the consequences." She reaches across the table, her hand hovering just above mine. "Lily, please, I'm begging you." I jerk my hand away, glaring at her. "Don't touch me. You lost the right to ask anything of me the moment you stabbed me in the back." Sophia's face crumples, and she lets her hand fall to the table. "I'm so sorry. I know I can never make this right, but I hope one day you can forgive me." I scoff. "Forgive you? After what you've done?" "That's not going to happen, Sophia." "Not now, not ever." She nods, her shoulders slumping in defeat. "I understand. I hope you can find it in your heart to move on, to be happy again." I laugh bitterly. "Happy? You destroyed any chance I had at happiness. The only thing I feel now is rage and betrayal." Sophia opens her mouth to say something else, but I hold up my hand, silencing her. "Just go, Sophia. I don't want to see you, and I don't want to hear your apologies. You've done enough damage." With a resigned nod, she turns and walks away, leaving me alone with my thoughts and the bitter taste of betrayal on my tongue. As I watch her retreating figure, I feel a new determination take root within me. I may not be able to forgive Sophia, but I'll be damned if I let her and my ex-fiancé get away with what they've done. It's time to start planning my revenge. The encounter with Sophia has left me more determined than ever to seek revenge. I can't let them get away with what they've done, not after the way they've destroyed my life. As I sit alone in my apartment, stewing in my anger, a plan starts to form in my mind. I'll make them pay for their betrayal, for the pain they've caused me. They'll know what it feels like to have everything they care about ripped away. I start by researching ways to ruin their lives, digging into their personal and professional lives to find any weaknesses I can exploit. It's a meticulous process, but I'm driven by a relentless fury that fuels my every move. I discover that Sophia's job at the local law firm is her pride and joy, the one thing she's truly passionate about. And my ex-fiancé? Well, he's always been obsessed with his image and reputation. Perfect. With this information in hand, I begin to put my plan into action. I start by anonymously contacting the law firm, hinting at some questionable behavior from one of their employees. It's a delicate dance, but I'm careful to leave no trace back to me. Next, I turn my attention to my ex-fiancé. I scour the internet, digging up any dirt I can find on him, and then start to anonymously spread rumors and innuendos through various channels. It's a slow process, but I can already see the cracks starting to form in his carefully curated image. As the days turn into weeks, I become increasingly consumed by my quest for revenge. I spend hours hunched over my laptop, meticulously orchestrating the downfall of the two people who betrayed me. It's an all-consuming obsession, and I can feel myself slipping further and further away from the person I used to be. But I don't care. All that matters is making them suffer, just as I have suffered. They need to know the true weight of their actions, the devastation they've caused. One night, as I'm scrolling through yet another social media post about Sophia and my ex-fiancé's seemingly perfect life, I let out a bitter laugh. Perfect, huh? We'll see about that. I lean back in my chair, a twisted smile spreading across my face. The pieces are falling into place, and soon their world will come crashing down around them. They won't know what hit them. As I close my laptop and head to bed, a sense of grim satisfaction settles over me. I may have lost everything, but I'm about to make them lose everything too. It's the only way I can find any semblance of peace. Tomorrow I'll take the next step in my plan. And the day after that, and the day after that, until they've been stripped of everything they hold dear. They'll know the true meaning of betrayal, of heartbreak. And they'll have no one to blame but themselves. The next few weeks are a whirlwind of activity as I put my plan into motion. I'm like a puppet master, pulling the strings and watching as Sophia and my ex-fiance's lives start to unravel. First, I anonymously contact Sophia's boss at the law firm, hinting at some questionable behavior on her part. It doesn't take long for an investigation to be launched, and soon Sophia is being called into meetings and questioned about her work. I don't understand what's going on. She tells me when we run into each other at the cafe. My boss is suddenly scrutinizing everything I do, and I have no idea why. I feign concern, but inside I'm grinning. That's so strange. I hope it all gets sorted out. You're such a hard worker. I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding. Sophia nods, her brow furrowed with worry. I hope so too. I can't afford to lose this job, Lily. It's everything to me. I resist the urge to laugh. Well, I'm sure it will all work out. Just keep your head down and do your best, right? She gives me a weak smile and nods, then hurries off, her shoulders slumped with stress. As for my ex-fiancé, I've been working tirelessly to undermine his reputation. I've planted seeds of doubt in the minds of his colleagues, hinting at questionable business practices and personal indiscretions. It's not long before the rumors start to spread, and I can see the cracks forming in his carefully cultivated image. He's suddenly being passed over for promotions, and his clients are starting to question their loyalty. I don't understand what's happening, he confides in me one day when we run into each other at the grocery store. My career is in freefall, and I have no idea why. I offer a sympathetic smile, but inside I'm reveling in his discomfort. That's so strange. I hope it all works out for you. You've always been so successful, it must be so frustrating. He nods, his brow furrowed with worry. It is. I'm starting to wonder if someone is trying to sabotage me. I feign surprise. Sabotage? That's a serious accusation. Do you have any idea who might be behind it? He shakes his head, his eyes narrowing. No, I don't, but I'm going to get to the bottom of this, I can assure you. I nod, my heart racing with excitement. Well, I hope you're able to figure it out. Good luck. As I watch him walk away, I can't help but feel a sense of triumph. My plan is working, and Sophia and my ex-fiancé are starting to feel the consequences of their actions. But I'm not done yet. I have more tricks up my sleeve, more ways to make them suffer. They'll know the true meaning of betrayal before I'm through with them. I spend the rest of the day glued to my computer, researching and plotting my next move. The more I uncover, the more I realize just how much damage I can do. It's intoxicating, this power I hold over them. As the sun sets, I lean back in my chair, a satisfied smile spreading across my face. They'll never see it coming. And when it's all over, they'll know that they can never escape the consequences of their actions. This is just the beginning. I watch with a mix of satisfaction and unease as Sophia and my ex-fiancé's lives unravel before my eyes. It's like a slow-motion train wreck, and I can't look away. First, Sophia loses her job at the law firm. The investigation I set in motion has uncovered some questionable billing practices, and she's been let go amidst a cloud of scandal. I don't understand what happened. She cries when we run into each other at the grocery store. One minute I was on the fast track to partner, and the next I'm unemployed and disgraced. I feign sympathy, but inside I'm reveling in her misery. That's awful, Sophia. I'm so sorry to hear that. Is there anything I can do to help? She shakes her head, tears streaming down her face. No, there's nothing anyone can do. My reputation is ruined, and no one will hire me now. I nod, pretending to be concerned. That must be so difficult. I can't imagine how you must be feeling. Sophia wipes at her eyes, her voice trembling. I feel like my whole world is falling apart. And it's all because of she cuts herself off, glancing around nervously. I raise an eyebrow, playing dumb. Because of what? She shakes her head. Nothing, never mind. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I offer her a sympathetic smile, but inside I'm grinning. Well, if there's anything I can do to help, please don't hesitate to ask. Sophia nods, her shoulders slumped in defeat, and hurries off, leaving me alone with my thoughts. As for my ex-fiancé, his downfall has been even more spectacular. The rumors I've been spreading about his business practices have taken a toll, and he's lost several major clients. His once thriving career is now in shambles. I run into him at a local cafe, and the change in him is striking. Gone is the confident, successful man I once knew. In his place is a haggard, anxious figure, his eyes darting around the room. "Lily," he says, his voice barely above a whisper. I didn't expect to see you here." I offer him a cool smile. "Well, this is my usual spot." "I'm surprised to see you here, considering how busy you must be these days." He winces, his gaze dropping to the floor. "Yeah, well, things have been challenging, to say the least." I nod, feigning concern. "I've heard." "It must be so difficult, having your reputation and career in jeopardy like this." He looks up at me, his eyes pleading. "Lily, I swear, I had nothing to do with those rumors. Someone is trying to sabotage me, and I have no idea who." I raise an eyebrow, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "Really? That's interesting. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're reaping what you've sown." He shakes his head, his hands trembling. "No, you don't understand. I've lost everything because of this. My job, my clients, He cuts himself off, his eyes filling with tears. I lean back in my chair, crossing my arms over my chest. "Your what, exactly? Your relationship with Sophia?" He nods, his shoulders slumping in defeat. "Yes, Sophia and we're not together anymore. Everything is falling apart, and I have no one to blame but myself." I can't help but feel a twinge of satisfaction at his words. Good, they deserve every bit of pain and suffering they're experiencing. But as I watch him break down in front of me, a small part of me can't help but feel a pang of guilt. Maybe I've taken this too far, gone too far in my quest for revenge. No, I shake my head, pushing those thoughts aside. They betrayed me, and they deserve to suffer the consequences. I stand up, leaving a few bills on the table to cover my coffee. "Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I can't say I'm surprised. You made your bed, now you have to lie in it." As I walk away, I can't help but feel a sense of unease. What have I become? As the days turn into weeks, and I watch Sophia and my ex-fiance's lives continue to unravel, a growing sense of unease settles over me. What started as a quest for revenge has morphed into something much darker, and I can't help but wonder if I've gone too far. I find myself replaying our encounters in my mind, the look of anguish on their faces as they grapple with the consequences of their actions. And while a part of me feels a twisted sense of satisfaction, another part of me is filled with a deep, gnawing guilt. Have I become just as manipulative and heartless as the people who betrayed me? Am I any better than them, using underhanded tactics to destroy their lives? The questions weigh heavily on my mind, and I find it increasingly difficult to sleep at night. I toss and turn, haunted by the images of Sophia and my ex-fiance's downfall, their lives crumbling around them. One night, as I'm lying awake, staring at the ceiling, I can't shake the feeling that I've lost myself in this pursuit of revenge. I've become so consumed by my need for retribution that I've forgotten what it means to be human, to show compassion and empathy. With a heavy sigh, I get up and make my way to the kitchen, pouring myself a glass of water. As I sip the cool liquid, I can't help but wonder if this is what I really want. Is this the path I want to continue down, one of bitterness and resentment? I think back to the person I was before, the one who had a bright future and a loving partner. That person feels like a distant memory, buried beneath the weight of the betrayal and the darkness of my own actions. A knock at the door startles me, and I hesitate for a moment before answering. To my surprise, it's my mother, her eyes filled with concern. "Lily, honey, are you all right?" she asks, stepping inside and pulling me into a tight embrace. I melt into her arms, the tears I've been holding back finally spilling down my cheeks. "Oh, Mom, I don't know what to do. I've made such a mess of everything." She guides me to the couch, sitting down beside me and taking my hands in hers. "What do you mean, sweetheart? What's going on?" I take a deep, shaky breath, trying to find the words to explain. I've been getting revenge on Sophia and my ex-fiancé. I've been destroying their lives, just like they destroyed mine. My mother's eyes widen, and she squeezes my hands gently. "Lily, what have you done?" I shake my head, the guilt weighing heavily on my heart. "I don't know, Mom. I don't know. I was so consumed by my need for revenge that I lost sight of who I was. And now I'm not sure I can ever get that person back." She pulls me into another hug, her voice soothing. Oh my dear, you've been through so much, but this isn't the answer. Revenge will only lead to more pain and darkness. I nod, the tears flowing freely. I know, but I wanted them to feel the same pain that I felt. I wanted them to suffer just like I have. I understand, sweetheart. But you can't let that darkness consume you. You're better than that, Lily. You have to find a way to move forward, to heal. As her words sink in, I feel a glimmer of hope. Maybe there is a way to move on, to find peace, without resorting to the same tactics that were used against me. It won't be easy, but I have to try. With a deep breath, I nod, squeezing my mother's hand. You're right. I have to find a way to let go of this anger and bitterness. It's the only way I can truly heal. The road ahead may be long and difficult, but I am determined to find my way back to the person I once was, the one who had a bright future and a heart full of love. It's time to let go of the darkness and embrace the light. As the weeks pass, I find myself increasingly haunted by the consequences of my actions. The guilt weighs heavily on my conscience, and I can't shake the feeling that I've become just as manipulative and heartless as the people who betrayed me. One day, as I'm walking through the park, I spot Sophia sitting on a bench, her head in her hands. She looks utterly defeated, and a pang of sympathy tugs at my heart. Despite everything, she was once my best friend, and seeing her in such a state is more than I can bear. I hesitate for a moment, then slowly approach her. Sophia? She looks up, her eyes red-rimmed from crying. Lily, what are you doing here? I take a deep breath, steeling myself for the conversation to come. I saw you sitting here and I wanted to check on you. How are you doing? Sophia lets out a bitter laugh. How do you think I'm doing? My life is in shambles, all because of what I did to you. I nod, the guilt gnawing at me. I know, and I'm sorry, Sophia, I really am. But what I've done to you and my ex-fiancé, it's what? She interrupts, her voice trembling. It's justified? It's payback for what we did to you? I shake my head, the words catching in my throat. I don't know, I thought it was, but no. Now I'm not so sure. Sophia studies me for a moment, her expression unreadable. You know, I never meant to hurt you, Lily. I was selfish and stupid, and I betrayed the one person I cared about most. But what you've done to us, it's what? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. It's worse, she says, her shoulders slumping. You've taken everything from us, just like we took everything from you. And I can't help but wonder if I deserve it, if we both do. I open my mouth to respond, but the words won't come. Instead, I sit down beside her, the silence stretching between us. After a moment, Sophia speaks up again. I know I can never make up for what I've done, Lily, but I hope that one day you can find it in your heart to forgive me. I nod, the weight of her words settling heavily on my heart. I don't know if I can, Sophia. The pain you and my ex-fiancé caused me, it's too much to bear. Sophia nods, her eyes filled with resignation. I understand. I just hope that you can find a way to move on, to be happy again. Because the path you're on, it's only going to lead to more darkness. As she stands up to leave, I can't help but feel a sense of unease. She's right, the path I've chosen is one of bitterness and resentment, and it's only going to lead to more pain. I watch as Sophia walks away, her steps heavy with the burden of her own guilt and regret. And in that moment, I realize that I've become just as trapped in the cycle of revenge as she and my ex-fiancé were. It's time to break free. I may not be able to forgive them, but I can't let their betrayal consume me. I have to find a way to move on, to reclaim the person I once was. With a deep breath, I stand up and head home, my mind racing with the weight of the decision I have to make. I can't stop thinking about my conversation with Sophia in the park. Her words have been weighing heavily on my mind. And I've come to the realization that I've become just as trapped in the cycle of revenge as she and my ex-fiancé were. It's time to put an end to this, once and for all. I take a deep breath and make my way to the cafe where I know my ex-fiancé frequents. As I push open the door, I spot him sitting at a table in the corner, his head buried in a stack of papers. We need to talk, I say, my voice firm as I approach him. He looks up, his eyes widening in surprise. Lily, what are you? Save it, I interrupt, holding up my hand. I'm not here to listen to your excuses. I'm here to confront you and Sophia about what you've done. He opens his mouth to speak, but I cut him off again. No, you don't get to talk. It's my turn now. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for the confrontation to come. You both betrayed me and you've destroyed my life. But in doing so, you've also destroyed yourselves. He nods, his gaze dropping to the table. I know, and I'm sorry, Lily. I never meant for any of this to happen. Sorry? I scoff, the bitterness in my voice palpable. Sorry doesn't even begin to cover it. You and Sophia took everything from me, my trust, my happiness, my future. And you think a simple apology is going to make it right? He shakes his head, his eyes filled with regret. No, of course not. I know there's nothing I can do to make up for what we've done. But I hope that one day you can find it in your heart to forgive us. I laugh, the sound hollow and devoid of any humor. Forgive you? After what you've done? That's not going to happen, not in a million years. Just then, the door to the cafe opens and Sophia walks in, her eyes widening as she sees me standing there. Lily? She says, her voice barely above a whisper. Sophia, I say, my voice dripping with disdain. I'm glad you're here. I have something to say to both of you. Sophia nods, her shoulders slumping as she takes a seat across from my ex-fiancé. I've been thinking a lot about what you said to me, Sophia, I begin, my gaze shifting between the two of them. About how I've become just as trapped in the cycle of revenge as you were. They both nod, their expressions somber. And you know what? You're right. I've become just as manipulative and heartless as you too. I've been so consumed by my need for revenge that I've lost sight of who I am. Sophia reaches across the table, her hand hovering just above mine. Lily, I say, jerking my hand away. I don't want your apologies or your excuses. What I want is for you both to take responsibility for your actions. They both nod, their eyes downcast. You betrayed me and you've destroyed my life. But in doing so, you've also destroyed yourselves. And I'm done letting that consume me. I take a deep breath, the weight of my words settling heavily on my heart. I may not be able to forgive you, not now, not ever, but I can't let your betrayal define me. I have to find a way to move on, to reclaim the person I once was. Sophia looks up, her eyes filled with tears. Lily, I'm so sorry. I know there's nothing I can do to make this right, but I hope that one day you can find it in your heart to forgive us. I shake my head, the anger and bitterness still simmering beneath the surface. I don't know if I can, Sophia, but I have to try. I have to find a way to let go of this anger and bitterness, or it's going to consume me, just like it's consumed you. With that, I turn and walk away, leaving them both behind. As I step out into the cool evening air, I feel a weight lifting from my shoulders. It's not going to be easy, but I know that true healing can only come from forgiveness, not revenge. And that's a path I'm determined to walk, no matter how difficult it may be. The days and weeks following my confrontation with Sophia and my ex-fiancé have been a whirlwind of emotions. The anger and bitterness that had consumed me for so long are slowly starting to fade, replaced by a newfound sense of purpose and determination. I've made the decision to let go of the need for revenge, to focus on healing and moving forward with my life. It's not an easy path, but I know it's the only way I can truly find peace. One of the first steps in my transformation has been reconnecting with the people who matter most to me, my family and friends. I've reached out to them, apologizing for shutting them out and asking for their support as I navigate this new chapter in my life. I'm so proud of you, Lily, my mother says, pulling me into a tight embrace. I know it hasn't been easy, but you're doing the right thing. I nod, blinking back tears. It's been so hard, Mom, but I can't let this define me anymore. I have to find a way to move on. She squeezes my hand, her eyes filled with understanding. And you will, sweetheart. It's going to take time, but I know you have the strength to do it. As I spend more time with my loved ones, I can feel the weight of the past slowly lifting from my shoulders. Their unwavering support and unconditional love are like a balm for my wounded soul. But it's not just my personal relationships that are helping me heal. I've also started to focus on rebuilding my professional life, throwing myself into my work with a renewed sense of purpose. You seem different, Lily, my boss comments one day, a small smile playing on her lips. More focused, more driven, I nod, returning her smile. I am. I've been through a lot, but I'm ready to move forward, to make the most of my career and my life. She reaches across the desk, giving my hand a gentle squeeze. I'm glad to hear that. And you know, if there's anything I can do to help, you just say the word. I feel a surge of gratitude, and I know in that moment that I'm on the right path. This job, this career, it is not just a means to an end. It is a way for me to find purpose and fulfillment in my life. As the days turn into weeks, I can feel the transformation taking hold. The darkness that had once consumed me is slowly being replaced by a newfound sense of hope and optimism. I know that the road ahead won't be easy, that there will be setbacks and challenges along the way. But I'm determined to face them head on, to embrace the future with open arms. One day, as I'm walking through the park, I spot Sophia sitting on a bench, her gaze fixed on the horizon. I hesitate for a moment, then slowly approach her. "Lily," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't expect to see you here," I nod, taking a seat beside her. "I know, but I wanted to talk to you if that's okay." She looks up at me, her eyes filled with a mixture of hope and trepidation. "Of course, what is it?" I take a deep breath, steeling myself for the conversation to come. "I've been doing a lot of thinking, Sophia, about what happened between us and about the path I've been on." She nods, her shoulders slumping. "I know, and I'm so sorry, Lily. I never meant to hurt you like this." I hold up my hand, silencing her. "I know, and I'm not saying I can forgive you, not yet. But I've realized that the only way I can truly move on is to let go of the need for revenge." Sophia's eyes widen and she reaches out to me, her hand hovering just above mine. "Lily, it's okay," I say, offering her a small smile. "I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. And I hope that one day we can find a way to rebuild our friendship, or at least find some semblance of peace." She nods, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. "I'd like that, Lily, more than anything." As we sit there in silence, I can feel the weight of the past slowly lifting from my shoulders. It's not going to be easy, but I know that I'm on the right path, the path to healing and transformation. As I stand here looking out over the city skyline, I can't help but reflect on the journey that has brought me to this point. It's been a long and difficult road, filled with pain, betrayal, and the temptation of revenge. But now, as I look back, I can see how far I've come. It's been a year since my confrontation with Sophia and my ex-fiancé, and so much has changed. I've rebuilt my life, my career, and my relationships with the people who matter most to me. And through it all, I've learned that true healing can only come from within. I no longer define myself by the betrayal I faced, but by the strength and resilience I've discovered within myself. It hasn't been easy, and there have been moments when I've wanted to give up, to let the bitterness and anger consume me once again. But I fought against those impulses, determined to forge a new path for myself. One of the biggest changes has been my relationship with Sophia. After our conversation in the park, we've slowly started to rebuild our friendship, tentatively at first, but with a growing sense of trust and understanding. "I never thought we'd be here, Lily," Sophia says, as we sit together on a park bench watching the sunset. "After everything that's happened, I never imagined we'd be able to find our way back to each other." I nod, a small smile playing on my lips. "I know, it's been a long and difficult journey, but I'm grateful that we've been able to find a way to move forward." Sophia reaches out, her hand gently squeezing mine. "Me too. And I want you to know I'm truly sorry for the pain I caused you. I know that nothing I can say or do will ever make up for it, but I hope that one day you can find it in your heart to forgive me." I take a deep breath, considering her words. "I'm not there yet, Sophia, but I'm working on it. And I'm grateful that you've been willing to put in the effort to rebuild our friendship." She nods, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "I'll be here, Lily. Whenever you're ready, I'll be here." As we sit in comfortable silence, I can't help but feel a sense of peace and contentment. It's been a long and winding road, but I've emerged from it stronger and wiser than I ever thought possible. And as for my ex-fiancé, well, our paths have diverged in very different directions. I've heard through the grapevine that he's been struggling to rebuild his career and his reputation, and that the guilt and regret have been weighing heavily on him. A part of me feels a twinge of satisfaction at the thought, but I've learned that true healing doesn't come from revenge, but from forgiveness and letting go. As I stand here, gazing out at the city skyline, I can feel a sense of purpose and direction that I haven't felt in a long time. I'm no longer defined by the betrayal I faced, but by the person I've become, a person who is stronger, more resilient, and more determined than ever to live her best life. With a deep breath, I turn and head back home, a smile playing on my lips. I may not have all the answers, and there may still be challenges ahead, but I know that I'm on the right path, and that's all that matters. As I walk, I can't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the journey that has brought me to this point. It's been a difficult and painful process, but it's also been a transformative one. And I know that I'm a better person for it. So as I look to the future, I do so with a sense of hope and optimism. I may not know what lies ahead, but I know that I'm ready to face it, whatever it may be. And with that, I smile, knowing that I've emerged from the darkness stronger and wiser than ever before.